I'm 62, and 3 weeks ago I was at Target, and I saw my old next-door neighbor, Susan Riley, 2 aisles over. Before she saw me, I turned around and walked the other way. Susan saw me do it. What happened next is the reason I almost didn't show up to her husband's retirement party last Saturday. But I went, and what she asked me at the bar, I'm still not over it. Let me back up. 6 months ago, I stopped going to my own grocery store. Started driving 40 minutes across town to a Target where nobody knew me. I'd done it long enough, I'd almost convinced myself it was a routine. I was just running errands. I told myself that the morning I walked into that store 3 weeks ago in my husband's old sweatshirt and a baseball cap, no makeup, hadn't even brushed my hair, I came around the end of an aisle and I saw Susan Riley. We were neighbors for 15 years before she moved. I hadn't seen her in 4. The last time she'd seen me up close, I had my act together every single day. She was reading the back of a box at the other end of the aisle. She hadn't seen me yet. I turned around and walked the other way. Fast. I didn't even think about it. I just turned. I made it about 10 steps before I heard it. Margaret? I froze. I closed my eyes for 1 second. Then I turned around. She was at the end of the aisle, watching me. She'd seen the whole thing. She walked toward me with that careful smile women use when they've just caught you doing something and they're going to pretend they didn't. She said, "I thought that was you." We stood there for 90 seconds. She asked about my kids. I asked about hers. The whole time I could feel her looking at my face under those store lights, and I could feel her not saying the things she was thinking. I drove home and sat in the garage and cried. Her husband's retirement party was 3 weeks away. I'd RVSP'd 6 months ago. I'd been pushing it out of my head until that afternoon in the aisle. Now I couldn't. She was going to be at the door. She was going to see me again. The morning of the party, my best friend Donna came over. We've been friends since our girls played soccer together in 4th grade. She's the only person I told about driving across town to do my errands. She walked into my bathroom, looked at me in the mirror, and said, "Honey, what are you doing to your face?" I'd been at it for an hour. Everything I put on settled into the lines around my eyes. I looked tired. I looked exactly like what Susan saw in that aisle 3 weeks ago. And I was about to walk into a room with her in it. Donna reached into her purse and set a bottle on the counter. She opened it and squeezed some onto the back of her hand. It was white. Bright white. I said, "Donna, what is that?" She said, "Wash your face. Trust me." So I washed my face, I put it on, and right there in the mirror, I watched it change into my exact skin tone. Didn't sit on top of my skin. It didn't crack. The lines around my eyes softened. I looked like me again. I walked into the venue at 7. Susan was at the bar in a navy dress doing the receiving smile. She looked up when I walked in, and I watched her face do the same quick read she did in the aisle 3 weeks ago. But this time her face stopped. She turned back to the guest in front of her. I got to the bar an hour later. Susan walked up next to me. She didn't say anything at first, and then she turned, looked at me sideways, and said, "Okay, I have to ask, your skin is unreal. What are you using?" Susan Riley, the woman who caught me running from her in an aisle 3 weeks ago, asking me. I smiled and told her I honestly couldn't remember the name. Maybe that was petty. It was definitely petty. But I'll tell you, it's called Rise Luxus. It goes on white and turns into your exact shade. Foundation, concealer, moisturizer, primer, all in one bottle. It replaced everything else in my makeup bag. Right now, it's buy one, get one free. And there's a 30-day guarantee. So if it doesn't change your skin the way it changed mine, you send it back and you get your money back. But I don't think you'll be sending it back. I think you'll be doing what I did, walking back into your own grocery store, your own pharmacy, the places you stopped going, and finally feeling like the woman you used to be when you walked into them. Click the link below.